Well. Welcome back to another hot episode of Crystal's Hot Seat. By the way, this is our last episode of the season, and we'll be back September 2018. And here's your host.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to this edition of Crystal's Hot Seat with me, Crystal Whitman, and we have Rachael Willis from A Walk in My Shoes, a local host here in Shreveport, with us in the hot seat. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We so appreciate it. Tell us about your show, A Walk in My Shoes, and how did this all come about? Tell us about it.
Well, The Walk in My Shoes is about, the show is about us having the opportunity to work at some of the local businesses here in the city of Shreveport,
Right.
and recognizing the value that everybody that works here actually has that they provide to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way for us to walk in that person's shoes that day to kind of see how hard those jobs may be.
Yeah.
And to help us to kind of get a better understanding before we kind of prejudge what's going on or what somebody did for the day.
Yeah.
And just learning to appreciate and respect the hard work and the efforts that we all, put in on a daily basis. Because every job that's out here, some kind of way they were all correlated together. It all works together for the good of Shreveport.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. And so by going out there and visiting the different locations and seeing those employees and working with those employees, we're better able to get a feel for what is it like to do the trash? What is it like to cut water off? What is it like to cut the water on? What is it like to get out here and work and get in the debris and I call it the pits of the city of Shreveport, because our city's built on those guys.
And you're sharing some video with us. What are we seeing right now? We see some video of you out and about. Talk about that for me.
Well, what that is one thing that the city of Shreveport offers is the opportunity for people who may be deaf to have somebody that translates for them. So if you have a handicap, you're able to apply for those jobs and still do the daily work that all the other employees do. It's not considered a handicap, it's really just assistance. And they're giving assistance with being able to communicate, being able to do whatever it is that job entails. So it gives career opportunities to not just people without impairments, but people that do have different types of handicaps and things of those natures. And so I had an opportunity to visit with one of the gentlemen that has been working with the city for about 8 years.
Wow.
And he just does a fantastic job. They love him, and he loves his work, and he'll be retiring with the city, that's his plan.
Now, you did some unique stuff, and we want to talk about it a little bit, because you actually you rolled up the sleeves and you got down in the trenches with the men. Tell us about that.
I did. They had no mercy on me.
Wow.
Let me say this. They had no mercy. So what you see is real stuff. But I had an opportunity to like I said, work with the guys from the Streets and Drainage.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they went into the gullies and into the ditches in the city. And it's their job to clean those ditches out. And so they have weed eaters and trucks and different things of that nature that go through there to clean all the debris, because they've got to keep that water flowing. And so I had an opportunity to do that, as well as work with the Department of Water and Sewer. And that was a fun one, because we went and we had the opportunity to cut water off, unfortunately, for some people.
Right.
And in some cases we were able to do some installations for some people and get their water back on. And it was just a great feel for all the types of work that the guys do, from the meter reading to the replacement of some of the water, what do you call those little spigots and things that they have.
Right.
We changed a lot of those I don't know what they're called, meters. We changed meters out. We did all types of things of that nature. So it was just a great experience to see every day what it is that they're doing, how hard the job actually is. And then we ran into situations where people had come across hard times and water was being cut off, and it was great to see how compassionate the city was as far as working with them to make sure that they were still able to have water for their homes or get it reconnected as quick as possible for them within the same day.
Right.
And all those things were just a great opportunity to have experience. So.
Now, I like what you were talking about before we went on the show about just like the trash pickup and how difficult that can be for the city workers in Shreveport.
Right. In the Department of Public Works, those guys, there are sanitation guys. They're in those big dump trucks. And their job is to go up and down the street, coming off the truck, picking up the trash and taking it back to the truck and having it dumped. Now, years ago, they used to have to carry that trash can on their shoulders and take it to the truck and haul it. There was no tilt. So now they have a tilt, but their job is to pick up all the debris throughout the city. And a lot of times they have to go to the backyards of people and then come back out to the front to jump back into the truck to drive, a little bit further up the street and go back out and do it again.
It sounds like hard work.
It's hard work, and it helps when we're conscientious of us littering, and when we're in situations where you see a ditch and people dump trash into it.
Unfortunately.
Understand that the city workers are responsible for picking that trash up.
So when you throw it out there, somebody else is picking it up for you.
Somebody is picking it up. And when you complain about the city and you say, oh, well, there's a lot of debris, there's different things of that nature out there, there really is, because people are not being responsible in keeping their trash in their car and dumping it. They're just dropping, it's tires and beds and all these different things, and all throughout some of the walkways in the city of Shreveport, all in some of the
and this
wood
is just
lines.
like the mayor's don't be trash
should be classy. Exactly.
Despite that, there's still an issue with trash.
Exactly. And I was told that there's like a $2,500 fine if you get caught littering or dumping trash. And if that's imposed a little bit more, I think that people would understand the seriousness of it, because it's harmful to our society. It's harmful to the people that live in those areas. That debris needs to be removed. You can't just have tires laying around. We've got children that are out there playing, in those areas sometimes, and they're subject to be hurt or harmed by the debris that's thrown out there.
And it puts me in the mind of, this is all of our responsibility, this is all of our community, so when you see it or you witness somebody doing this, there should be a person to call, and I'm not for sure who that person is to call to report these types of things.
I would say for them just to call into the city of Shreveport, because they'll address any of those issues, and they take all of those issues and concerns seriously. And so I would just suggest that they call into the city of Shreveport and let them know that, if they can get a license plate number or something of that nature.
Snap a picture with that
Snap
phone.
a picture, I know. We're real good at that. So snap a picture, do whatever you can, because again, it is all of our responsibility, and we want to be in a clean environment. And we need to take care of what we have, because it's a lot of hard work for those gentlemen that are out there. And they're so good, and they're disciplined, they work hard, they take what they do serious. We need to appreciate and respect the work that they do, because nobody wants to have to do it. It's already a hard job, but then when you have to go that extra mile because somebody dumped in the wrong place or different things, that's not fair.
I'd like to know if did this experience change your thought process of just the city workers? Because sometimes we'll be on the roads driving in the car, and you're annoyed sometimes about the dump trucks or the people out there are like, okay, move out of my way, they're on my street. So did it change your thought process or feelings of the city workers and what they have to go through each day?
It honestly did. It gave me a greater appreciation for the work that they do, because they're up early. They're at their jobs normally before 7 o'clock a.m. They don't finish sometime until after we've gone to bed at 9 p.m. And they're out there working really hard and diligently to keep the streets clean, keep the grounds paved, keep the streets paved. All of the grunt work, everything that the city is built on is the backbone of those workers that are out there that work for the city of Shreveport. And those managers and those public officials, we're all responsible for the upkeep of our city. And of course, sometimes we get the nasty names and the derogatory remarks about the city of Shreveport, but people do come to the city of Shreveport. Yeah. They come to the casinos, they come to visit some of the shops and things that we have. So we want to make sure that it's a pleasant place, not only where we live, but a place that we want other people to come and learn to appreciate as well.
We want more tourists to come here to our area and pour more money into the city of Shreveport.
Exactly.
So it's a win-win for us that way when you think about it that way. Especially with the Miss-USA pageant coming down, we're going to have people here. So, we thank you so much for sitting with us in the hot seat, Miss Rachael Willis. We really want you to stay there. We're going to take a quick commercial break and pay some bills. That's important.
Okay.
All right. And we'll be right back after this commercial break. Stay with us.
Since 1985, J&S Electronics has served the architects with superior electronics from transistors, resistors, and fuses. We carry HDMI cables and a wide selection of AV cables and connectors. We also have a large supply of batteries and tools to handle your projects. Need Cat 6 or CCTV systems? Call us at 318-631-8675 or come see us today at 6437 Greenwood Road.
Special times, or dinner time. It's all about the glass. Libby Factory Outlet, glasses for every occasion.
I work in the alleys. That's my primary job. But we do all sorts of jobs. All the jobs out here are dangerous if you don't respect it. You gotta respect everything you do and take time to do it the right way. We do a little everything. When we go around, we cut alleys, we clean them. When disaster come, like when we have storms and stuff, we doing sandbags.
Whatever the disaster is, streets and drainage is a part of it, 24/7, every day.
And one of our biggest problems, people throwing trash and tires in alleys. We do a whole lot of stuff to help the city and the citizens of the community. So,
and we're going to get out there and educate you guys on what we can do to kind of help the fellows here at Streets and Drainage and how we can make this community a better place.
all right.
My name is Richard Johnson. I'm a crew leader for forestry. Forestry consists of 5 people for the entire city. The job he does is very dangerous. Some of the trees that we have are taller than the bucket that we have. Some of the trees that we do are in ditches and behind people's homes. And not only trees, we do right away. We go out and cut grass. We assist with whatever the department needs. Whether it be from trees to sandbags, from storms to flood calls.
How long have you been with the city?
15 years.
15 years. Hi, this is the Chief Supervisor, Ron Magnuson, of the Streets and Drainage Division of the City of Shreveport. He's been with the city for the last 2 years, going into his 3rd year. And I wanted Mr. Ron to tell us a little bit about his division and who he supervises and what they do.
Well, what my particular job is we do all the right-of-ways, which consists of all the interstates.
Okay.
And I believe we actually have 127 square miles of city
Oh, wow.
right-of-way,
Okay.
which is from the street to the telephone poles,
Okay.
but neighborhoods. So it's quite a bit of work. I think I have about 30 people that work for me,
Okay.
trucks and equipment. So we do the bush hogging on the interstates, and then we do the small fine cutting on the smaller roads.
Okay.
The small ditches, your small ditches for your in front of homes, if they get bad, we keep the grass cut and clean. So basically, mine is to keep the grass down.
To keep
So
the grass
it's good.
down. Okay.
Plus litter.
Plus
the
the
litter
litter.
is a big problem.
Okay.
So,
And how can we help you guys with the litter? I know that seems to be like a big issue, and I know that they've got a bunch of campaigns about littering and things of that nature. But how, as a civilian or a citizen of Shreveport, how can we assist you guys with kind of keeping that litter down? And where do we need to go? Where do we take the trash to when those things are in question?
well, I think if people would just keep the litter in their car until they got home.
Okay.
But if you can drive up and down the interstates where your ramps are, they just throw their trash out.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's education, asking people please take a little pride in the city.
Okay. Okay.
Because litter we have the sheriff's department does help us. They pick up a lot. Plus we have our crews. I got men and nothing but that, which is if I could use them elsewhere. So I think it's just a matter of education, and maybe the city working a little bit harder to let them know that they're not supposed to litter.
Right. Now, isn't there a fine or something if you litter?
Signs say $2,500.
$2,500. Okay. Okay.
But
so now we
I
just
guess
need to
it's really
enforce
hard to
that,
catch
right?
people. It'd be really kind of hard to catch them.
Yeah.
To do that, but if people would just understand it, if they would just put it in a bag and throw it at home, the city would look nicer, streets would be cleaner, less manpower, less cost to the city,
Right.
and we would just look better.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you so much for the opportunity to talk with you. And like I said, we'll be riding out with you today to kind of watch you supervise some of the crews and hang out with you. And like I said, continue to educate us on how we can help, how we can be of assistance to make, Shreveport a better place. Once again, we're here with the show, A Walk in My Shoes. And today I'm here with Ricky Bird, who is the Chief Supervisor for the Asphalt Division of the City of Shreveport. They just bought a new asphalt truck, so we'll have an opportunity to go take a look at that and see what Ricky is doing out there. So Ricky, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've of course been here, and what different departments that you've worked with within the city, within your 27 years.
All the functions here, from drainage to trees and asphalt, back to asphalt, concrete, cave-ins, did everything that's possible to do here.
Okay, and how many people do you oversee within the city?
And well, the function I'm in, probably about 15.
About 15?
Yeah, but over the overall crew, we got about maybe 60 people.
And now what determines like where you're gonna go or what your guys are gonna do from a day-to-day standpoint?
Well, if I have any calls for damages to the cars, those are things that we try to take care of first.
Okay.
And then from there, it's the other periodic calls that we get.
Okay. And when it comes to training, are you physically having to go out there and train these individuals when they come in? Are they coming in with experience, or?
Well, you have to train them.
You have to train them?
Everybody hasn't done hot mix before.
Okay.
It's not a job that's, if you're in the construction field, you know about it, but most people don't know very much about it.
So do you get very many hiring people that do have a background in the field, or do you normally get like just green people that are, okay. And so you yourself go out there and train them.
Yes.
And then how long does the training normally take?
About 2 weeks.
Well, one of the things that I learned was that each family, or each household is given 2 green trash cans, those big green trash cans that you see. And inside of those trash cans, it's important for people to understand that you can't just dump your gumbo or last night's meal into that dumpster. It needs to go inside of a trash bag and then placed inside of the green dumpster and then carried out on your trash day.
Right.
And what I found being out there was that some people don't really adhere to that. If they had a party or a picnic or what have you, that food is in the trash can just as is, just raw material. It's in there.
Yeah.
And it creates maggots and things like that. So when you look at our guys are getting sometimes that waste on them throughout the day because it's not optional for them, unfortunately, not to get the trash out, get the trash out. And so, again, it goes back to respecting those positions, understanding that if that were me out there doing that job or you out there doing that job, being considerate of what some of the rules and regulations actually are in just our everyday activities that we do. Emptying the trash, throwing waste away that's in our car, or not littering, things of that nature. We just need to make sure that we pay close attention to our participation in it and what we can do to help.
And again, a walk in my shoes is just a way to kind of look at what other people go through on a daily basis and their work, and they do.
Yes.
Talk about that. And so who are you talking to here in this video?
This is one of the gentlemen that he works for the Streets and Drainage Department, and he is responsible for making sure that the trash pickups are done, making sure that the asphalt guys are in their proper places. We went out to one of the locations and they had just purchased a brand new truck for the city, and they were doing a demonstration on how that one machine is able to do a big patch as opposed to one single hole. It does a broader area, a broader area for the big potholes, and it actually saves the city a lot of money because they're able to use some of the old debris and things, materials. Right, they're able to use some of the old materials as well as the new mixture in order to pave those streets, which makes it a little bit faster, covers a little bit more territory for them, and then saves a lot of money because you don't need as many people on that one machine. Even on this day, even though everybody was in training.
So he took your hat off there.
Yes, because I was wearing the wrong equipment. So they were in training on that day, learning to use that machine. But on a normal day, it only takes like 3 people to do that. So we still have the guys that do the small individual potholes, but then we have that crew that works that machine that does the bigger areas and the asphalt and things of that nature.
And so you started to do some of this too. So
yes.
if I drive down this road and it's a little bit bumpy, I need to come and see Rachael Willis.
So I can refer you to the guys that are the professionals that know how to do it.
Yes.
But I was out there just learning and wanting to get an education on, what all it entails to do the asphalt, because one of the big concerns about the city are the potholes, the streets, and when are they going to be paved, and how long does it take, and things like that. So if you're able to see it, you're able to appreciate it and appreciate the work that those guys are doing.
Speaking of appreciation, do you think they undermine your abilities because you actually got out there and you did some work?
Yes, I think they underestimated me, and I did the best job that I possibly could, but I can assure you after each job that I did, I honestly did quit. I said, I'm not coming back. I hope it works.
You don't want to do their job.
They have great jobs and they're for somebody, but I just don't have the, I don't have the strength that I used to have back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not that same girl.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I enjoyed it.
And so there are some women workers too. You talked about that.
Yes, there are a lot of women workers in the city that do some of these hard jobs.
Wow.
And they don't mind doing them. They're good. Some of them are older than I am, I'm sure. And but they do a fantastic job. They work equally as hard, and they don't complain. And I did not complain until I got in my car. But I worked with them, and like I said, I was able to learn to respect all avenues and every part of the job in which they did, from the time that they got to their jobs that morning to the time they left.
And speaking of morning, what time did you film? This looks like it's early morning, or was this late evening?
Actually, this was at like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. That's when they're getting prepared.
Oh.
And they head out at like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they're out there till like 9 o'clock at night. And one of the things that I didn't know about our sanitation department, the guys that do the trash and things like that, once they've gotten their trucks full, they have to drive all the way out to Keithsville to dump it. And then they come back and then complete their routes.
Wow.
So there's always like a break. Once that truck is full, there's a break where they have to drive another 30, 40 minutes to go dump and then come back and then complete the routes if they haven't completed them for that day.
Did you notice anything that could be done differently, or you were talking about saving the city money, that from your experience, that you think that could be improved basically?
I think in every department there were little things that we could do differently. I think that the biggest thing is accountability. And if there's a fine for a behavior like dumping trash and littering, that's something that we really need to look into, and we need to make sure that we're holding people accountable for not dumping in the wrong places. If there is a rule or a law that says, hey, if your water's cut off, you're not allowed to break the lock, then it needs to be adhered to. If there's a fine, then we need to make sure that we're assessing those fines to those families that are out there. I call it breaking the law. And the reason I say that is because, one, it costs a lot of money, but it takes more time for the guys to have to repair. And two, if you call the city and you let them know what your situation is, 99% of the time they work with you anyway, so there's no need to be so aggressive in, I call it bucking the system. You know, it makes our job a lot easier, it makes their job a lot easier, and it's a way for us to be able to save money and be accountable for our part of making sure that our city remains a good city.
Now this guy was a character. Like, what department is he with?
He's with the Department of Sanitation, the Public Works Department, and his name was Mr. Cornelius, and he's been with the city for over 30 years. And he was a lot of fun. He is one of the guys that back in the day had to carry the load on his shoulders, literally. And he said he was going to work me. He was going to work me hard that day, and he meant every word of it. And I really enjoyed working with him. I learned a lot from him. But he was so good at training because he treated me as though it was my very first day on the job. He actually acted like I was going to stay. And he treated me like it was my first day.
I'm sure he misses you.
And I really enjoyed working with him because, like I said, he was great. He's got a lot of experience, and he was able to tell me the ins and the outs, the do's and the don'ts and things like that. So he made that day a lot of fun, even though it was one of the most gruesome jobs that we could possibly have done.
Yeah. Now, so where are you guys at on this? Is that, no, that's not you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. Okay.
Wow.
Look at there.
That is me. And
lived in a chair.
We are doing what they do.
That.
Yes. They were serious. They had no mercy on me. They made me work. If this is what they did, I did it right along with them. And like I said, I enjoyed every minute of it. It was hard work. But the guys, like I said, are fun. And I can tell you that safety is first. They made sure that I was protected. They made sure that everything was good. We took our time, you know, and we got the job done right. And as you can see, I was wrestling with the trash can. It got the best of me.
Was it heavy?
No, it really wasn't heavy. It's like the wind blew and the wheel went a different way. And I, you know, thank goodness I didn't tumble over it. And this is one of the females. She's a truck, one of the drivers of one of the big dump trucks.
Okay.
She's one of 3 or 4 that they have. And she's an awesome lady to work with, and I had a great time working with her. And you know, she does the same thing that the guys do.
Yeah.
And she's enjoying her job and looking for other opportunities for advancement within the city in that department.
All right.
And so she was great.
Now talk to us. So we know that you went out and worked with the city workers, but you're also in restaurants and just some other places too. Talk to me about that.
We've gone to different locations to the restaurants and worked behind the kitchen. I wanted to see what it would be like to be a waitress.
What was that like?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It's a balancing act. Okay.
Yeah.
So besides getting the order right,
yeah,
things that I had to be concerned about was getting the food delivered to the table without dropping it.
Wow.
And so I learned a lot about the cleanliness of the restaurants, what it takes to be a waitress, what their responsibilities are, how important it is to know the menus that they have, how important it is to make sure that they're well groomed, and that they provide quality customer service to be able to get those tips. So I learned a lot of things about working in some of those environments. So.
What are some other places you'd like to try to work at?
I'm really interested in working for the Human Resource Department. One thing, and that's going back to the city, the one thing that I learned about the Department of Human Resources there is that they have a GED program, which I thought was great. And it's an opportunity for those people that didn't get a GED to get their GED and be paid and work at the same time.
Perfect.
So when you look at opportunities like that, those are things that are golden nuggets within our city that I definitely want to be able to highlight. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Do you feel that these workers respected you more at the end of the day, once you got done, or how do you think they felt?
I think they did. I think that they appreciated the fact that I took the time to come out there and actually highlight them as workers. I don't think there was anybody that had a problem with me being there. I think that they were very receptive and open, and just glad that somebody was willing to say, hey, look guys, you're doing a great job, and hey, I'm going to get out here with you and see what it's like, so that the community can see what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis. We're not assuming, we're not guessing, now we really know. So I think just showcasing them for the day made them really feel good, and it made me feel good. And I'm prayerful that it helps the community to understand those positions a little bit better. And that again, when you see them, honk your horn, let them know that you appreciate them. Just share a little love with them, because those are hard jobs. They're hard jobs, and those guys do a really good job doing them.
And any advice, again, for just citizens to become, I guess, better citizens? That's the best way to say it.
I would say don't litter. Put trash bags inside of the trash cans. Make sure that, when those guys are backing those trucks out, that we understand that they're not just waiting and doing nothing. They're working really, really hard. And just give them a little love and a little respect, and do what we can as citizens to be able to make those jobs a little bit easier. If we have a problem with something going on with the city of Shreveport, contact the city of Shreveport. It is your city. It's our city. We're all in this together, believe it or not. And it makes all of our lives a little bit better when we can appreciate and respect one another and not take each other for granted.
So do you feel that you accomplished your goal of your going out and about in the city?
I hope so. I hope that I'm able to give everybody a little bit of just a sneak peek of what it all entails. And I'm prayerful, like I said, that we'll learn to work better together, and we'll have a better understanding about what it is that we do with each other, for each other, and for the community.
And that's the reason, or the point behind I walk in my shoes.
Yes, ma'am.
Walking in my shoes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being with us in the hot seat today. We definitely enjoyed having you this morning. And that'll do it for us. You guys, we hope you enjoyed it. This is Crystal on the hot seat. Have a good day.